Listen, you lot already know, yeah, it's getting to that time of the year where, like, you know what, it's getting a little bit colder and some of us are starting to just slip off our little male grooming regime. Let's not do that. Let's definitely not do that. Let me tell you this now, yeah. You see this thing right here? The Lawnmower 4.0. This has been a sensational addition to my life and many other people's lives. Men, let me tell you this, yeah. If you want to shave around the pubic hair area, like the balls and the dick, like all of that, and not cut yourself, you need this. Bare people are trying all different types of stuff, scissors and disc blade and trying to use clippers or whatever. This will not, this is the safest way of doing it. Trust me. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to come here in front of you lot and like pitch something to you that I don't believe in. Look, I roll with this without the bag now. This is just my thing. You can get it for 20% off. All you got to do is put in HC Pod as a promo code, yeah? Then you'll get 20% off and free shipping. Thank me later. Women also as well, like, don't feel alienated by this. If you're with a guy and you want to buy him something different, I suggest this. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can go and buy him aftershave. Yeah, you can go and buy him a flipping belt or whatever. But you see, when you surprise him with the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped, oh my God. It will be interesting to see his reaction. And if you could take a picture of it as well, yeah, send that to me. The Lawnmower 4.0. Get 20% off. Use the promo code HCPOD. You get free shipping as well, yeah? Thank me later. Talking about football though, I gotta bring this one up.
Got you.
Gotta bring this one up.
Go on. Please.
The armband thing.
Yeah.
Let's have a light conversation about the armband thing. So World Cup's happening, whatever.
Because it's part of my howler, so let's talk about this.
Okay. And just interject whenever you need to. But basically, World Cup's happening in Qatar. And now that it's happening, there's been this conversation about, you know, all the deaths that's happened in regards to the stadiums being built and how the country treats the LGBTQ people and like just their morals and how they deal with certain things and how they run their country and whatever. And so for that to have a little bit of solidarity, is that the word?
Solidarity.
Yeah, solidarity. You know what? The England players go to England and whatnot and wear an armband to show their, I don't know, their support, yeah, for the LGBTQ people them, yeah? Am I being rude by saying people them, by the way? Lightly. Community.
Community is a better term.
Yeah, community is a better term. When I say people them, it's just the Jamaican and me.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't mean it in a...
I don't know how they're going to perceive it.
They're going to perceive it as like...
We live in a very sensitive era.
Yeah. Right, okay. Community, that's what I meant. And I actually genuinely meant that. I meant community, yeah?
If it was me, I get it, but it's Chuckie.
Yeah, it's So anyway, big argument happening now about that because I think that it then went to just... Was it just the captain? Was it just Harry Kane? Was it supposed to be the whole team or was it always...
The captain's meant to wear the armband and then, yeah, he couldn't wear the armband.
Did they tell him that he couldn't wear the armband or did they just say that they didn't? Because I think there was something about...
That particular armband, they don't want one.
Right, and they were saying that obviously if he wears the armband, he'll get a yellow card and whatever.
100%.
This and the other. Here's my stance on this.
Got you.
You see me. Believe me when I say this, yeah? There's a lot of things about countries that I don't like. There's a lot of things about so many countries that I don't like. And there's a lot of situations in regards to history tied to a lot of these countries that I don't like. But let me tell you something. I definitely don't like the idea of going to someone else's country and telling them how to run their thing when in our country there is 100 million things.
So what's the term?
Wrong with this. And on top of that, like not only that, but the history tied to this country on top of that is affecting will affect people for thousands or decades, like literally decades upon decades. So we're now gonna go with this arrogance, of the Western world is the better way of doing certain things. The Western world is the better way of living life in society and go into someone else's country and tell them essentially how they're supposed to do that. I hate that. I hate the idea of it. If, you know what, the players want to do it in this country, if in this country they want to just, you know, show some type of support and whatever for whatever and do it here, then fair enough, do that here. But to go over there and tell them no, that we're gonna like, and then you start seeing these half-hearted boycotts. So you get people that are like, it's what Temi was saying before. It's convenient war. The convenient war is, you know what? We're not gonna show the open day ceremony because we stand for something. So we're not gonna show it because, you know what I mean, we stand for this thing. But then, okay, cool, that's fine. If that's the case, for me, if you're gonna do that, don't go and don't watch it. You can't do the half-hearted boycotting thing. You can't go over there and say, you know what, we're not gonna show this, but we're gonna do that, and we're gonna cheer this, and we're gonna cheer that, and we're not gonna cheer this, and we're not gonna cheer that.
So we're here, yeah? Cool. Keep going.
Listen, no half-hearting boycotting. Like, either you boycott or you don't boycott. One of the reasons why you have to lightly respect the what they called the people that are, what they called, Distinction Rebellion. What is that? Is it the same type of people that are going there? Climate change people. So they're essentially going out in the roads and whatever, and they're sitting in traffic and they're doing whatever it is that they're doing. And it is an inconvenience. Let's be clear here. Like, they are inconveniencing a lot of people, and it's a big disruption. But as far as they're concerned, that big disruption needs to happen over here for there to need to be some type of change. I hear it. They are willing to sacrifice potentially getting run over, getting slapped, getting this, that, and the fourth. But there's, at least with them, there's no half-hearted boycotts. They are just on a boycotting thing. For me, when I was watching this going on, I'm like, half these people are saying this, but everything else just seems so like, it's like an oxymoron. 1 minute it's like, yeah, no, wear an armband. These lot are weak. These lot are, and then later on, you're cheering the man them. You're watching it and you're cheering it. That's a half-hearted boycott.
Let me show you what I think about this whole situation. First of all, I want to tell you an article from the 27th of October, I believe it was this year. I'm not going to mention the country they name. I'm just going to read the first 2 paragraphs. The controversial country ban against promoting so-called gay propaganda looks set to be extended to all adults. The move represents a toughening of an existing 2013 law, which makes providing information about being LGBT to children a criminal offence. What's the year I said?
2013.
Where was the World Cup held in 2018?
Was England?
Russia,
sorry. Yeah, shit, come on.
What country am I speaking about in this article?
What, Russia? Yeah.
So let's take a look at what that's got to do with this situation here. Okay.
I see where you're going.
If that's a problem, why are we not bringing it up in 2018?
Right.
I don't get it.
I hear that.
This is what I would say to the LGBT community, and I would say it to everyone part of the BLM community. My people, do you know what we are? We're a charity case. We're a badge. We're a small badge on top of a top whilst we're speaking about various other things. In a football ground during COVID, we're in the corner. And we're brought up at the start and at the end of something. And when we bring it up, everyone goes dead silent and it's a part of a conversation where no one can make a mistake because we've got to get this message clear. Aren't you tired of being that? BLM, LGBT, are you not tired of being a charity case? Don't you just want to be indoctrinated into society normally? Aren't you tired of people or the Western world using your struggle as a way for them to gain privilege? Aren't you tired of your struggle being exhausted at times when they need it to profit and benefit whatever agenda they have? Outside of the agenda, they couldn't give a flying monkeys about you. But when it's time to say, we don't like the World Cup in Qatar and we need justification for it, all of a sudden we bring up an issue that existed in 2018 but no one cared about.
Right.
I'm just saying, if that's the people, I'm looking at the people telling me this message. And 4 years ago, they didn't have a problem.
Nobody
Which
cared.
leads me to believe 4 years today, they don't have a problem.
There's no
There's
problem.
something they're prevented from doing. So they give you, this is their enemy, just so people go, nah, we're not fucking with them. So I'm saying right here, right now, I think it's time for the BLM, the LGBT, and any other minority group to stand up and say, we would like to be the voice of our situation. Stop allowing Western societies and Western world agendas to be the voice of our situation, because they're only the voice when it profits and benefits them. But the struggle that the LGBT community goes through, the struggle that black people go through, and any other minority going through a struggle is daily. Not just when the World Cup's on, not just when the Olympics is on. Russia held the Olympics and the World Cup, and it's not an issue.
Right.
It's not an issue. Till the Ukraine situation happens, Russia's now an issue. We're going to put this article up on the 27th of October of this year. But 4 years ago, no issue. Oh yeah, Qatar, we got an issue with you now. Like Chuckie said, fam, dance a yard before you dance abroad. There are plenty of issues happening within this country that need to be resolved. That don't only just affect minority groups, they actually affect everybody. So instead of you pointing out the discrepancies in every other country, point inwards.
Facts. Just to make a point on top of what you were saying, yeah. I think that there's still there's people within the LGBTQ community that will rise up and they'll say certain things, but I do think that sometimes it comes from a place of manipulation. So you're being manipulated in some degree by media to make you feel like you need to stand up for something in a different country, and then they're using you essentially as a struggle, yeah, and to pit people against them so that they can essentially fulfill whatever agenda that they need to fill. I just think it's so mad and weird. And yeah, you're right. People need to kind of wise up from that a little bit. There's so much situations happening in and amongst this, and I was having a conversation with someone about this before, but I was saying to them yeah, I know that there's all these different communities and stuff like that, but one of the reasons why I feel we need to look inwards is because even within these communities, there are massive problems. Even within that, it doesn't stop, speaking, and this was coming from a person who I was talking to that was gay, and he was white actually, but he was saying to me, even within that, it's he feels as though sometimes the privilege aspect of them fight to a point where they're okay, but then don't fight for the black people or brown people that are within that community. You know what? Let's address all of this first. Before we go over there and start looking at these lot and how they're running, let's look within all of this, within all of it. There's so much issues here to go around. And actually, let me ask this question. If it's not in Qatar because of their human rights and all of that type of stuff, where are we putting it then? Because is the only place that you can put it is England because of...
But you know what? People will leave comments on
or
this
in Europe.
No, watch this. People are going to leave comments and they're going to say, oh, what about the many deaths that happened in Qatar from the stadiums? Oh, you don't know what happened in Brazil?
Oh my God.
We don't know what happened in Brazil in 2014 because there's a football stadium in a rainforest right now that's not being used. I'm not saying they should have it there or they shouldn't have it there, but it's more about what Chuckie said. If you're going to point out discrepancies and reasons why they shouldn't have it certain places, then that should be universal for everyone.
Right.
And one death is too many. Don't tell me that there's 100,000 deaths here. One death is too many.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not even saying that how they're running their thing out there is right or wrong. I'm just saying, wait, when I look left and right here, it is fucked. And there's big problems here. And there's big problems everywhere. So
what are we doing here, bro?
What are we doing, man?
And do
you know what? This is another thing, because I know some people will say, so what do we do? Don't say nothing then. I'm like, nah, you know what? If someone asks you an opinion, then tell your opinion. Speak when you're spoken to. I'd never tell someone to not speak when they're spoken to. If you feel something or you have an opinion on something and someone asks you, then then do that. But what? Go to a different country and campaign and start wearing the rainbow flag and that in their country and do that. I just don't. For me, For me, that doesn't sit right to me.
Let me show you.
Do it here. Cool. Definitely do it here. But going out there and doing it, I'm like, And then the half-hearted boycotts is what really gets me.
But it's because
so it's like everyone's screaming and shouting about what players should do, and screaming and shouting about, like, you know, the acts that people are supposed to make here. Cool. Do you know what? Like, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not even saying that you shouldn't even have your opinion. But I'm just like, okay, cool. I just want to know, though. All I need to know is that your opinion and your outrage is reflecting how you are watching the World Cup, though. Don't do all of this type of stuff and then be sitting there screaming at the TV and cheering and doing all of that type of stuff. Because let me tell you something. If I'm proper standing on something and I genuinely believe, yo, we got to make a change, I ain't watching it.
I mean, if we're gonna do that, in the 1998 World Cup, Zinedine Zidane, born in Algeria, North Africa. I imagine the North African region is Muslim, no?
Yeah. Well, large percentage. Right?
Large percentage is Muslim, no? So Zinedine Zidane potentially could be of the same... He could be Muslim as well, no? But do we not remember the discrepancies which happened in France, where you had loads of French comics taking the piss out of the Muslim community? But one of the greatest players to ever play for your country is fucking Algerian. One of the most expensive players in the whole world, which was French. Pogba, is he not Muslim? So what's going on here? So a part of me, I could be totally wrong and I could be getting it left. I just think you have a problem with the Muslim community. That's my fault. That's what I think. And I have thought this for a very long time. Ever since 2001 and the shift I saw in this country off the back of the Twin Tower incident. Don't forget, a Brazilian individual that year was shot running for the train in the underground because they thought he was Muslim and he had a bag on. There's a generation of people whose whole thought process has been affected by that one situation there. And their level of ignorance of not being exposed to the Muslim community enough will mean that thought that they have about the Muslim community might stay forever. That's 2001. In 2022, you're doing so much to the point where you're asking Carlos Queiroz, BBC are asking Carlos Queiroz, who's the manager of Iran, they say to him, he was confronted and he was asked about the protests in Iran. The protests in Iran. What do you think about the protests in Iran, Mr. Football Manager from Iran? And do you know what Carlos Queiroz said? How come she never asked Gareth Southgate about Afghanistan? So what I'm saying is this. I just genuinely feel the Western world has a problem with Muhammad. That's what I feel. They have a problem with the Muslim community. And the way they try and shield it is they go, okay, we got a problem with the Muslim community. How can we get some help?
And I think that the
LGBT community are not allowed here. We need you. 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 Wear the Unbound on TV. Get Alex Scott to wear it. Get Alex Scott to talk about this. Go and get another woman to sit next to the FIFA president and wear it. Like, I'm gonna wear hats and my brother, my G. I'll tell you one thing. I don't like going nowhere where I'm not loved. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I was literally just about to say that as well. Like, what they'll do is no one will be none the wiser. And all it will take is for someone to just make some type of noise and say, yo, we need you. And then everyone will just rise up and start saying, yeah, what the fuck's happening over there? You know, when I saw Alex Scott, I know someone that I really like her as a pundit as well. Man. She's wicked. But when I saw her doing that, I look at the TV and I just think, convenient war. This is convenient war. And on top of that, you're a pawn in this.
Alex Scott don't even realise. They're using her.
You. They're using
something
you.
That is you every single day, every second of the day, Chuckie. For them, it's just a little 2-3 hours on BBC and then they go back to whatever blood clot thing they might do.
Yeah.
That's Alex Scott's life. And you're going to use her in the situation. And then, no disrespect to Alex Scott, I proper love you. I love you, Alex. But then you're in Dubai taking pictures like, hey, I'm in Dubai. Like, I just think all of you lot are just weird to me, bro.
And like, do you know what the maddest thing is? There's actually, I don't think that anyone should make these lot feel bad for going and doing a job and coming back.
Never.
Don't, go and do the job and come back. It's calm. If someone asks you an opinion, tell the truth. Speak when you're spoken to, absolutely. But let's not do the convenient war thing, because if you're gonna do that, don't go.
But you know
Just
what?
don't go.
But who have we learnt from? Who are all of these people learning from? Because it's television that's telling them to do it. And television was justifying war crime in 2000, 2001 and giving us reasons why everything was happening. So people can make mistakes and have justification for it. People can do bullshit and have justification for it. People can do things and just have justification for it. And I'm like, don't have justification for a television network using you as a pawn. Ask them to do it.
What's it called? Tell, lie,
Vision. And then they tell you seeing is believing. Seeing is not believing, bruv.
It's mad.
Seeing is not believing. Because I thought Usher and Chili, I thought Usher cheated on Chili. It was a lie. Confessions was about Jermaine Dupri. Seeing is not believing. Seeing is not believing, bruv. I think the real believing is education and educating yourself.
Yeah.
Being
do you know what the funny thing about it is, bro?
Mm.
We're having this conversation, but after all that screaming and shouting and armband this and rainbow this, that, and the fourth and whatever, you know what? It's fish and chips paper now. Because you know why? You know why it's fish and chips paper? Because the fact of the matter is, ball's getting kicked, and it's happening.
And guess
what? Are
you
here or not?
Are you? No, look, furthermore, if England win the World Cup, let's see how much you care about everything.
Right.
Let's see how much you care about all the discrepancies. If England win the World Cup and they tell you can't wear your armband there, you think you're going to give a shit? I'll see how much you care then. I'll see how much you care then. I'm already done with this country anyway. From time 5 black man score and Jack Grealish is on the paper, I can't be arsed.
Did that happen?
England won 6-2. Saka scored twice. Bellingham scored once.
And who was on the paper?
Sterling scored. Those are next black man I can't remember right now. Rashford! Shout out my brother Rashford. Black man went for... Callum Wilson goes forward on the right-hand side. He almost scores. He cuts it back for my black brother Jack Grealish. He scores. And I say black because you know what? You might as well include him because they isolated him after 6 goals. And he came on... Well, didn't he come on as a sub?
Yeah, he was the last goal.
He was the last goal. The game's done by then. Yeah. And that's the man you use on the front page to say England win 6-2. And this is the country everybody wants to trust when they say, listen, I'm not saying what they're saying is not a fact.
Yeah, don't worry.
Country baby, man. You know I'm happy to see you.
You know, I was really
Sit down so people can see you. Just sit down so people can see you.
I was about to start cussing, but I saw Poet and I had the love of my life. How are you? I've just got a bit of mouthful of earring.
But you two are too close, man. Ease up, man.
What do you mean now,
This is the love of my life.
What's going on here? What's going on? Huh?
Smell my neck. I got a new perfume.
Oh my, what's going on? Stop all of this.
Amazing.
What? Hey, can you leave now, please?
Wait,
what's happening?
What are you doing here?
We're recording a pod.
Oh, you're actually... Oh.
We're in the mix.
Yeah, man. So as I was saying, this is my wife, man. And
This is the love of my life.
When did this happen?
When it came on
Yesterday.
my show.
Oh, okay.
Have you not seen that episode?
I haven't, no.
See, you wouldn't. That's how we founded our relationship.
Oh, strong. Hey, howlers.
right.
Howlers.
We got some howlers today.
Go on.
The killer is we've just spoken about one.
Well, we needed to unpack that still.
So I'm just going to talk about the England versus Iran game. First of all, shout out the boys.
Go on.
You got to shout out the boys. And I want to focus primarily on Marcus Rashford and Bukayo Saka. Because the last time they represented England in a tournament, off the back of that game, the man get a whole heap of abuse.
Strong.
And the first game back in the World Cup, Saka scores twice and Rashford comes off the bench to score. So for me, incredible mental strength, incredible ability, incredible humans, just sensational. That type of fight. Not many people recover from tournaments. After Gareth Southgate missed a penalty in 96, I don't really remember him in 98. What was he doing? And now he's the England manager. Oh, do me one. I just think them two individuals there that miss penalties and come back and show that fighting spirit is something I love.
100.
When David Batty missed a penalty in 98, I don't remember him coming back. People don't usually come back from penalty misses, so credit them.
They get swallowed up to bits.
So since the country, I personally feel, I don't care what the media says, the country gave these two individuals a lot of hell.
Right.
Aren't we as a group of people, as a community, obligated to say, at least Marcus Rashford, Saka, you need to get the headlines for the first game.
Absolutely.
So tell me how Jack Grealish gets it. And I like Jack.
It's a fucking stinker.
I like Jack.
It's a stinker.
I like Jack.
Yeah, I know, but that's a stinker.
I just think that the press within this country, I'm just not impressed.
You know what? Jack don't like that.
I don't think Jack likes it.
I don't like that. I don't think he likes that.
And you know what I like?
You know what you're doing?
Go on.
As well, that probably puts him in an awkward situation lightly. Because he's probably seen it and it's like, oh, brother, you know it's not me. I didn't write it.
You know when all the man them don't like someone and then the one person, that guy comes in, all of us don't like this one guy. He don't like us, but one person's like, oh, well, go on. You're like, oh, big man.
Yeah.
Now we kind of can't be rude. I just think the media, you stink.
To bits.
You stink. How is Jack Grealish the start of it? And I feel like it is a ploy, and I always fall for it. You do that to get more coverage from us, because you know, just by putting them on the front, I probably wouldn't give you the coverage. But that's where you're wrong, because I've noticed you've done in the past. I will say to you, well done. You're making a change, British media. But the truth of the matter is, whilst all you old cunts are still alive that probably supported the Second World War, this country's still going to be in a bloody mess. You're still shipping my Jamaican people back for no reason.
Right.
But Cashtastic is back, and so is Lumos.
Right.
Idiots. Anyway, so that's enough about the British press. I've had enough about them. But there's one brand that doesn't make sense to me.
Go on.
It doesn't make sense to me. And I felt, how do I even unpack this?
Clothing brand.
This clothing brand is a brand that I've paid for stuff in the past. But this is what I'm going to say. And I don't support the things that Kanye West has said that are negative. But you see all that energy you man have for Kanye West. I ain't just talking about the Jewish community. I'm talking about black people as well. See all that energy you have for someone that's made you smile in the past. All that energy for someone that's actually tried to make positive contributions to the culture in the past. You know who hasn't made any positive contributions to the culture, but you spend a lot of your money there? Balenciaga. And let me show you what Balenciaga is doing. And I'm not saying right now you have to not support Balenciaga. Listen, you lot all can do what you want, but you're putting yourselves under pressure when you're out here screaming yay this and yay that and yay this and Kyrie Irving this and Kyrie Irving that. Because right now, what are you going to say about a brand supporting child pornography?
That's disgusting.
Is are we liking that? Let's take a look.
And the trend is this. Adults crossing the line, and it has always been a bright line, into deep involvement with the sexuality of children. That has always been, and must in a civilized society always be, the most forbidden thing. It's considered unacceptable even among prison inmates. But now it seems to be growing in its prevalence.
I'm going to leave it right there. Do you know what he said to me that is so in my mind? I'm like, raw. My dad has told me stories of people that trouble little picnic, 9, 10 years old, and go prison. And my dad's told me what happens to them in one of the environments we consider everybody to be an outcast from society because they've done something wrong. Criminals can identify that child pornography is wrong. Pedophiles are wrong, and they'll brock your clot in a courtyard field when no one's looking. But you mean to tell me a brand known as Balenciaga won't? And everyone's still going to wear the glasses with the B on the side. All of you wankers are still going to wear your Balenciaga glasses. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying, you see, if you've had that energy for black people in this community for making mistakes when we're from one of the worst, we're from a real shit struggle, you know? Where if a man just gets a flipping job in MacD's from this community, I've got so much happiness and I'm proud of him because of how shit the communities that we've come from, how damaged they were. Again, I'm not making excuses for all the people that make mistakes. Yes, some of them are rotten. But if you're going to have that energy for individuals that have made monumental mistakes and monumental greatness as well, you gotta have it for the Spanish brand of Balenciaga, because the Spanish ain't done nothing for us. From the Spanish went to fucking Jamaica and called something called Spanish Town. There ain't one Spanish person there.
Strong.
So if you're gonna have all that energy for black individuals within this community that done something wrong, I don't want to see no bees near your fucking eyes. Listen. Child pornography. And did you know what? Sorry, Chuckie. Let me just go on to the next part of why it's even more disgusting. They deleted their Twitter after Elon Musk was gonna take control. Cool. We will never know why. Elon Musk wants freedom of speech. If there's freedom of speech, that means someone can tell you about your blood clot. That's number one. Number two, my brother, they took everything down from their Instagram after that was actually identified. Only for you to re-upload something else where you have another book Another book, and when you go into the details of this book and you open it and you look at the pictures, it's images of child pornography, cannibalism. Have you seen the images?
No.
My brother. Balenciaga. Listen, I'm not saying again.
This is an
don't
absolute
wear
stinker.
I'm not saying don't wear Balenciaga. I'm just
No,
saying.
of course not. You're just making people aware. You're enlightening.
I'm enlightening you that if you're an individual that is talking about, I'm not doing this, I'm not playing R. Kelly. You're not playing R. Kelly, no? So if people play R. Kelly, you got a problem. I understand that. But I also understand why you should have a problem with Balenciaga then as well. I really do.
Brother, convenient war. Convenient war. Everyone's on convenient war, bro.
It's disgusting.
Trust me
bro.
when I tell you,
Let me show this to Chuckie because
there's
Chuckie's
no
seen this one.
consistency.
You ain't seen this one, Chuckie?
No.
Oh my God.
There's no consistency.
Oh, you ain't seen this one?
We're done at.
Watch this.
My gosh.
Let me find a shorter one.
Since everybody's on the Balenciaga thing, I want to show you something.
Oh no, that's the one where she talks about who. Oh, Balenciaga are terrible, by the way. Oh, there's even more.
Is
I
there
forgot
more?
there's even more.
Are you
So
serious?
Balenciaga have done this whole campaign where they're doing something where like, I guess feed black people. Go on, I'll just say it as it is. Feed black people, underprivileged black people in certain situations. And I don't know all the details. Please leave comments and enlighten me more. But I do know that the Apple family, the people that run the Apple family, are investing in farming. Apparently because food is going down and so on and so forth. So they're investing in farming. And they have something to do with this Balenciaga situation. They're investing in this one thing. Listen, you know what? None of you look near this situation. You see our black people, leave us alone. Let us take care of us people, just like Muhammad Ali said on the Parkinson show, I think like 1970 something. I don't think I want any interaction with Europeans that have huge power in Spain and all of these places. I don't want you to come near our people them anymore.
Ashcroft versus Free Speech Coalition.
Listen,
All the pervy kids and all that with all of this, right?
watch this.
Take a look at this book.
Listen to this, Chuckie.
Michael Borman's.
Michael
Before you
Borman's.
type it into Google, please be warned that these images are disturbing. I seriously have no words for Balenciaga and their set design because the choice of art direction is... Let's just recount the purse with the Ashcroft versus Free Speech Coalition literature, court docket, the Michael Behrmans, and then...
And just for the people that don't know who the Michael Behrmans is the guy I was speaking about, where when you go through this book, you're just seeing people with things over their head, eating man's arms, eating man's legs.
Cannibalism.
You're seeing naked youths. You're like... If you want to continue to wear your Balenciaga glasses with the B here and have a problem with R. Kelly, that's up to you. But in my head, that makes no sense. If you want to continue to wear your Balenciaga glasses with a B here and then your rundown trainers but have a problem with Kanye West, that makes no sense. When you're this civil rights leader on Twitter, you have to be a civil rights leader for every individual going through fucking problems, not just the targeted groups that you like.
Strong.
Like, it's either, there's one way to, I feel like, to do this situation. We're here to defend the people that are getting fucked over, or we're here to defend the people that are fucking people over. And the truth of the matter is, I just want to defend people that are getting fucked over because they got the smallest voice. They're the group of the most underprivileged people, and the minority that actually has all the power can go and say, hey, Balenciaga, let's just go and get a bag of kids, give them sex toys, sexualize fucking 3-year-olds. What is going on?
Today, you know? You're on fire today.
It's because it's 3 o'clock though. You know, you do like the 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I'm waking up at 12 to be fair. But yeah,
bro, you're on fire today.
I have a problem with that, Chuckie. For me,
Yeah, it stinks.
It proper
stinks.
stinks. And again, it's agendas. It's agendas, man. Like what is that agenda? Why are you trying to put child pornography into society? At what point does that become acceptable when I can tell you in prison they'll brock your clout for it?
Of course.
Prison, bruv.
Yeah, that's something that we don't stand for.
We don't stand
We
for.
don't stand for that at all. Have you got one more?
I have, and it's a story from a guy from the United States. And I tweeted the other day, yeah, like the World Cup's in, America in 2026. I hope you're gonna have this energy for the Americans. And they were like, oh, Paul, it's not it's an unfair comparison, and some people are saying you shouldn't do the comparison thing. And you know what? In the end I was like, you're actually probably right. You know, I should just look at every one situation by itself. And if you just want to know, like, sum up some of the legal system in America, I just want you to hear this story. It's 2 minutes long. I do apologize for how long it's been. I cut it early.
No, play it.
Please
bro.
hear this story from this guy.
Try to speak up. All right. I went into McDonald's. There was a guy and a 6-year-old girl in front of me, right? She wanted a Happy Meal. He said, you're getting a cheeseburger, fry, and Coke. And all the things the little girl did was... And he punched her in the face. Knocked her down. She had a knock coming up. When... I didn't do anything right away, but he went to hit her again. I grabbed him. When I grabbed him and spun him around, I'm like, hey, buddy. His friend grabbed me and jumped me. The three of us got into a fight. He wound up with a compound fracture. The other guy wound up with a broke nose and a broke arm.
Right.
When the police and the ambulance came and everything, they said he never touched me. When I grabbed him, I became the aggressor. I did 10 years for that. For assault with bodily injury. They sued me and they got damages and everything, personal damages. The law is you can't touch nobody. I became the aggressor when I grabbed him. When we went to court and they showed the video, they started the video with me grabbing him and spinning him around because the state filed a separate charge and she was a minor on him, so it couldn't be admissible in court. Now, protecting a child, I did 10 years because the law is the law. You can't touch nobody.
Wow. Wow, you just helped them too. And what's your name again?
Mac.
Where are you from?
I'm from Miami. I'm 73 years old. I've been down here for 55 years.
What's your favorite thing about life?
Freedom now.
I cut it there. I cut it early. Donnie's 73 years old. He's a former Marine. Never been in no problems in his whole life. That's the only time he went prison. So he went prison at 63 for defending a 6-year-old girl who was getting punched up for asking for a burger. If that and then not only that, the guys that got beat up, both of them wankers, by a 63-year-old man, end up getting money because they got beat up because the guy was trying to protect the 6-year-old girl. Now, I know some people are going to listen to this and go, that can happen anywhere. And that's my point. Stop pointing at different countries saying who can hold the World Cup. Every fucking country barring New Zealand in this planet is full of shit.
Well, New Zealand...
New Zealand's probably full of shit as well. It's the furthest away. So if there's a war, at least I know I'm safe there. So I'm just trying to solidify my thing there. So I just think, realistically, if you're going to start pointing out discrepancies within a country, I want you to do it for every tournament going forward and realize that you're never going to stop.
100%. 100%.
Let's just all focus on inwards for a little while. I think there's been too many, with this cancel culture, there's too much pointing. Loads of pointing. And a lot of it's reflection, a lot of it's deflection. And I want you lot to reflect now. Reflect on yourselves. Don't do the reflection of, I'm a bit of this prick. I'm going to look at it and find the quality that I don't like in East Africa and then just keep pointing it out because I don't like it within myself. No, you're going to pretend East Africa is the mirror and you're going to be pointing at yourself. We need to all, as a group of individuals, stop this bollocks and start trying to change our own selves so we can be a better contribution to the world in which we live in. Whatever change you want in the world, change it within yourself. We're all a world. We're all like a planet, bro. We all have the ability to change ourselves, to change the world. And your world can just be your household. That's still a world within itself. And who knows what the individuals in that household are going to do. Stop this finger pointing, because when I hear a story about a 63-year-old man trying to save a 6-year-old girl from getting punched up by a male adult only for him to go to prison for 10 years and them two pricks still carry on raising that girl with extra funds, it makes me realize what type of world in the Western world we live in. Stop thinking you're so fucking great. None of us are. Under the eyes of the Lord, we're all sinners, bro.
Do you know what? I can't even add on that, man. You said that perfectly, bro. You was on fire today, bro. I swear. I'm not even... You know what? I was going to do the what does one thing that everyone needs to know about. I ain't even doing that today. Yeah, I'm ending it on that. Actually, the only thing that I will say is HC Pod Clips. Subscribe to that channel now. We're close to 1,000 subscribers.
Lit.
And then every day, literally every day, there will be clips from new pods, old pods, and all of that there. So HC Pod Clips, yeah. You'll see it in the description anyway. Po, love, East Africa, every time. Thanks for listening, everyone, yeah? Love.